Okay, I'm actually really proud. This was not a perfect month, but it was easier than January. This is my no buy update for February 2026. Now, bear with me because I am still sick. I'm losing my voice and I need to get this done while the husband has the kids for a little bit. A quick reminder of my rules: essentials were allowed, and anything that I wanted to buy that felt necessary had to be run through my contentment filter. I will link my no buy full rule video here so that you can go back and hear more about these rules. Anything frivolous and unnecessary must be marked as such. I had 4 categories that I was not supposed to buy from: no clothing, no books, no new gear, and no house stuff. So in a 28-day month, I only made purchases on 4 separate days, which shocked me. And of those 4 days, on the 6 categories within, only 2 items fell under the unnecessary or frivolous spending. This is a big shift from how I used to shop, and it's even a shift from January and how I shopped then. So here's what I actually bought. I did get some undergarments on the first. I ended up marking it as loud because going through my contentment filter, these are things that I had on my spring list but would have missed if I had not seen that the business was literally going out of business. So I got 6 items, about 90% off, and I call it worth it. I also had to get my daughter a new pair of shoes because about the 3rd time we went out with her wearing summer sandals over socks in the snow and me getting weird looks from strangers, I asked her, "Why are you wearing those?" She said, "Well, I only have my boots and I don't want to wear those, and none of my sneakers fit." So we had to buy her sneakers. We also got invited to a 3-year-old birthday party, and so I got him some books. Again, unplanned, but a necessary purchase. As I mentioned at the beginning of the year, I knew there would be birthday presents along the way, and I count those as essentials. I did keep it under $20 though, which is always my goal. Another thing I purchased was what Minimal Mom or Minimalist Mom, no, Minimal Mom, she calls them time will tell bins. I purchased these because I have already started the time will tell system where basically you take things off your counter or paperwork that you aren't sure you need, and you put them in a bin or a bag or a place where you come back to them either weekly or monthly to see if you do in fact still need that item. I have been using grocery bags, and we were actually finding, my husband and I were forgetting the time will tell bags were there and just viewing them as like grocery bags to go to Goodwill when in fact that was not their purpose. So she linked 2 of her favorite time will tell type bins that are clear plastic so you can see inside them. I see them as necessary because now my husband and I are reminded that the time will tell paperwork needs to be gone through every weekend. And now the last 2 items are what I'm calling frivolous. Number 1 is a new lamp. It is over there. I love it. I rearranged my entire room because I had to go on a rampage cleaning it. Um, as we found out, there had been a mouse in the house and I had a dark corner left over. So I had this lamp in my wish list for a while, decided to purchase it. But my rule for this quarter was no new house stuff. And also, I got a phone tripod because it was on sale. People have been recommending it. I've been trying to take more clips of me for B-roll. But again, my rule was no new gear. So I had to mark both of those as frivolous. Yes, I like them. Yes, I'm glad I have them. Yes, they are useful. But the whole thing about this no buy or low buy year for me is that I am trying to build trust in myself that I know when I need something and when it can wait. And I think in this instance, if I had stuck to my rules and just waited until the quarter was over, I then could have gone and purchased either of these items. But instead, I didn't build that little step of trust. So I have to call it what it is. So the biggest change wasn't actually this list of items and what I purchased and didn't purchase. The biggest change was how little I found myself tempted to shop. I was opening less shopping emails. I was automatically saying maybe later instead of clicking through a link. I was saving things for later in my Amazon cart, but even compared to January, there's so much less items that I saved for later. I even had a few instances where I felt the impulse to buy something and I just didn't. It was so easy to let that impulse go because I knew I was on this journey, and having this container around why I'm not buying something has been helpful for me to control those impulses. I also did a 24-hour detox where I didn't use my phone for entertainment purposes, and I'll link that video here. But I have been trying to keep that up 1 day a week ever since, where I don't reach for my phone to just use it for entertainment. I'm trying to use it for utility. And I think removing my phone as that dopamine hit has actually helped more than I thought, because now I'm finding that because it's not a place that I go directly for dopamine, I'm also not linking it to getting that dopamine from shopping. February felt like proof to me that January, the first month, is always the hardest, because now I'm getting into a groove. But going forward into March, I do want to be even more intentional. So typically with this notebook here, I've been maybe every like week or two going through my purchases and writing down what I bought. I want to be so intentional that it's every single day that I can check in and say, I didn't buy anything. Or I can say, I bought this item. Because if I can link it directly to that same day and force that awareness, I think it'll lead me to an even better place. But I also want to start recording what I'm not buying. I want to start writing down the things I thought of throughout the day that were impulses that I ignored. Because I think for me, just someone who loves data and numbers, it'll be really interesting to see down the line how much money I saved. I think that'll be motivating at the end of the no buy, low buy year to come into 2027 saying, look at all the things that you didn't buy and how it changed your life. So that's something about March. I want it to be a little more intentional. I'm still running things through my contentment filter, but along the way, keeping more aware, because I think awareness is huge in every part of your life, whether it's in a goal you're setting, a habit you're doing, a routine, something you're trying to change or stop, something you're trying to add in. The more awareness we have around these things, the easier it is to reflect and check in on whether something is working for our current season, working for our current day, working for our current energy levels. So if you're doing a no buy or a low buy, you're just like me. Progress is progress, even if it is imperfect. Yes, I still bought some things I shouldn't have. I didn't listen to my list, but I made progress, and that's what matters. So I will see you in the March update. And if you're new here, thanks for sticking around through the whole thing. Sorry that I am sick. I have just been in a whirlwind of a February, and I am so glad that you have found this soft place to land on the internet. If you'd like to stick around for more videos that come with how to be more intentional in our lives and create a life that you don't have to recover from, a life that bends but doesn't break, I'd love to have you hit subscribe and stay for the next one. Okay, bye.